Hello, everyone. This is Venus Brown. Today I'm going to be reacting to The Crown, Season 4, Episode 8. I think it's called 48-1, 48 to 1. I'm not sure why, but I do know that this episode has something to do with the African apartheid. So let's get into it and see what's going on.
As I speak to you today from Cape Town, I am 6,000 miles from the country where I was born. I am certainly not 6,000 miles from home. It is the great privilege of belonging to our place in the worldwide Commonwealth. There are homes ready to welcome us in every continent of the earth. Although will you, it is surely not the burden or not be daunted, quiet heart we all love so dearly.
Somebody's graduating.
Please welcome Margaret Roberts.
I like her dress.
Whole of ourselves.
Pretty teal.
Good evening. I should like to make that dedication now. It's very simple. I declare before you all that my whole life.
Okay, so this is all back in time. When are they going to get back to the present time? And here is the intro for The Crown, Season 4. If you like this content, you can go ahead and click that thumbs up button. If you like, you can click the bell to subscribe. And if you click all, you'll get notifications whenever new content is loaded. You can share or even save it to watch later if you like. And there it is. The Crown. Ta-da!
Ancient Ember Till. The aurora was breaking. The island seagirt was fast stirring. Pellucid in the
He types about like I type.
of the Ionian waters.
I try to type the right way, but too often I find myself just going back to
Very own War and Peace.
Ulysses. 33 years she's been on the throne. The Queen has never once expressed a point of view about her prime ministers. Never will. There's an article of faith to her.
true, but she's not averse to saying something to the prime minister themselves.
It's been nearly 4
Or her
decades
husband.
since the system of black protesters by government forces is creating increased international outrage.
I think I have learned more from Trevor Noah than anything else or anyone else about the apartheid. Really made things a lot more clear and understandable by using his own personal perspective and things that he's been through in his own life. Make it engaging and for somebody else that would have no clue what that would be like otherwise.
Police against members of the public. 48 of the Commonwealth countries are committed to imposing a policy of sanctions, and one country remains against.
United Kingdom.
Mrs. Thatcher remains opposed.
Commonwealth. Ridiculous waste of time. Morally offensive. Why we allow
Why is
our
it morally
Queen to fraternize with countries like Uganda, Malawi, Nigeria, Swaziland.
Because you are no better and your country is no better.
Appalling human rights records.
Can you say the same about your own country? You think you don't have human rights problems? The colonizers of the world.
Decided to ask Edward to be my best man.
Not Charles.
No.
Oh, that will raise some eyebrows.
Good. Now, like other second sons I could mention, so obviously be better at it than him,
At what?
being the heir.
So how has he been at being the heir?
For the state
I've not actually noticed anything really since he assumed the position. Assumed the position. That place looks familiar, but I have no idea why.
Will be aware that the Commonwealth of Nations is a second family to me. There
I like
are
the round
always
table.
tensions between nations. Offers us all capacity to celebrate difference.
Apparently some people think it's a waste of time, waste of whatever. Margaret Thatcher, really?
That Britain will join the other countries of the Commonwealth and impose sanctions on an apartheid regime that has no place in the modern world.
It is not the business of a British Prime Minister to consult with unelected dictators.
They are part of the Commonwealth.
Britain being great again. not through association with unreliable tribal leaders in eccentric costumes.
But isn't that all I am, Prime Minister?
Oh,
A tribal leader in eccentric costumes.
call her out.
You're head of an evolved constitutional monarchy.
Again, your country is no better than any other when it comes to human rights issues.
To me, Ghana,
Neither is ours in America. No better. We have been guilty of great human rights violations. We utilize our civilized nation as an excuse to freaking harm other nations.
As a student at Oxford.
Maybe that is the student.
What I would like you to do is sign that statement.
That sounded very much like a directive.
Think of it as a question.
But it's a question. It was her. I didn't think she was in science. Thought like her whole life was devoted to politics, capitalism. I really feel like I need to do more like looking into past civic stuff going on with Margaret Thatcher. Just remember a lot of people I knew liked her, and a lot of people more my line of thinking did not. Not like her policies, not like her ideas. Which is, I guess, why I am fervently not conservative and liberal. I agree with a lot of conservative ideas. I do think we need the two to kind of even each other out, balance things. I just don't agree with a lot of conservative ideas.
No, definitely no. What we need here is not useless politicians, sorry, Sally, but a writer.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yes, I think we can work with that.
She agreed to signals. And among the signals she agreed to are actually several of the sanctions she would never have contemplated had they been called sanctions.
Exactly, Michael. Congratulations.
The ring with her queen, the Iron Lady, melted.
You have been forced to make significant concessions.
Not that I noticed. Did one person move to the 48, or did 48 move to 1? Agreed to signals. With one simple turn, a signal can soon point in an entirely different direction.
Here's two different perspectives. But there is a reason that using different words mean very different things when you're trying to mean just about the same thing. And why I always say that words are very important. Nelson Mandela.
Regardless of whether we get this one published, have you ever considered a political thriller?
What?
The inner workings of Whitehall, Westminster, the palace. Dispose it all under an assumed name.
I could. And would never betray those confidences, or the people I'm proud to serve.
Had to try.
The increasingly sour relations between Buckingham Palace and Downing Street, following the recent crisis at the Commonwealth.
What kind of statement? One of support, personal affection for the Prime Minister.
But what if I'm not happy with the job she's been doing? What if on this occasion I'd be happy for people to know the displeasure was actually real? Were to become public knowledge that there had been an unprecedented rift between Sovereign and Prime Minister, would that really be so bad?
That's an interesting precedent.
That would be a misjudgment, and risk doing serious and irreparable harm to the relationship between Buckingham Palace and Downing Street.
Talk about a dust-up.
It's reckless, Martin, and irresponsible. I'm as surprised as you are. I want my objection noted.
I wonder what this was like to people in that area of the world back then.
Nice. A passing comment on political affairs. So far, Buckingham Palace has refused to be drawn on the veracity of the report.
That she's also an astute political infighter who is quite prepared to take on Downing Street when provoked.
Except it's like the only time ever.
I'm feeling something for the very first time.
What is
What might that be?
Impatience for our next audience. Before
She's not
coming
sitting.
today is the model of cordiality, productivity, and mutual respect. I was under the impression that Her Majesty never expressed her political views in public.
Referring to the Sunday Times, I've always advised my prime ministers against reading the newspapers.
I don't.
They misunderstand, misquote, and misrepresent.
The sources were unimpeachable.
And who is the senior?
I am. Compassion for those less fortunate than us?
Do you, really?
Let us not forget. I am the one with a father who could not bequeath me a title. Only grit, good sense, and determination. I don't want people's pity. Nothing would insult me more.
And that's you.
To self-reliant, and I think in that
And you
I
can
am
be
succeeding.
self-reliant without being incompassionate.
I'll feel that I have betrayed them.
Well, they need only read the Sunday Times. It will give them no doubt as to your position.
She never should have had to do that. That's what compromise is for, and you refused to compromise.
Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson.
Yes, we are.
I was glad though to see that she stood up to the Queen, because usually it's the Queen that has to stand up to somebody else, and somebody else finally
Your favorite?
stood up to her. I'm going to make this little observation that I wouldn't necessarily say that Margaret Thatcher's being completely incompassionate and stuff like that. It's more like she fails to see things outside of her own experience and her own perspective. She doesn't have empathy. Only sees it from her point, which makes it intolerable to see somebody with a different experience outside of her experience, outside of her point of view. Yes, she was brought up in this way that made her decide that it's so vitally important for her to make it on her own. I think a lot of us want that. A lot of us want to be able to pull ourselves up, do everything for ourselves, take care of ourselves. And that's fine. But the inability to see that not everybody is that way, you can still pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Insist that other people try to pull themselves up by their bootstraps without being so insensitive and thoughtless, inconsiderate about other people from other places and other countries and other experiences. Let's get back to the show. Goodness gracious.
What in God's name is going on with our mother? The wedding of the Duke of York should be a landmark event, at home and abroad. It's full, not of Sarah and me, the mummy's rift with the Prime Minister.
Pull your wedding back a little bit.
She did what she spent her life telling me I cannot do.
Bloody thoughtless of her, if you ask me.
Come on, you can hardly blame the newspapers for wanting to write about something other than the wedding of a fringe member of the family who'll never be king. Ouch. Well, it's true, isn't it? Fourth in line now. Fringe.
And this is where the royal family is inconsiderate and thoughtless and careless and heartless, doesn't have empathy. They can't see things outside of their own perspective. Just freaking treat each other like dirt. And don't even realize like how insulting they're being to their own family. So crazy. Well, and that was the backdrop.
I think we're now going to have to give them something. A culprit to deflect blame from you and to put these flames out ASAP.
Do that? I honestly think they should just sit the two down and find a way to come up with a compromise. And then you can bring it back to the people and show them, look, come to a compromise. Those people respect that.
Compromised as a consequence of your actions.
And you know that he is the last one that was doing that. He insisted.
I hope we can rely on you to do the right thing.
Dirty old gray hairs. Seriously. Stop throwing people under the bus. Of course, that's the whole friggin' point in throwing somebody under the bus. Is Is that like the backdrop I used for my thumbnail? I'll have to take a look at that. Michael Shea. I'll have to look him up. Alright, so that was episode 9 of season 4 of The Crown. I still don't quite know what the title means. 48-1? Anyway, I enjoyed that episode. I like this kind of like political intrigue and stuff like that, and I like it when people frickin' stand up and call people out for their shit. I realize that it can be very problematic for people like the Queen, but I still think it's important. It needs to happen sometimes. But I think that the answer to their predicament that they found themselves in should have been having the two of them sit down and come to some sort of compromise, not to throw somebody else under the bus for letting out information that they're trying to claim was untrue. I think people need to understand that Queen, the King, the princes and princesses, all of them that are in royalty are human beings. They are going to have opinions. They are going to disagree with people sometimes. Even the seemingly most steadfast, calm, cool, collected person on the face of the earth every now and then is going to have a disagreement sometimes, and it might get out to the public. And people need to learn to be okay with that. Even if it's the Crown. What the heck? Anyway, we'll see you next week for season 4, episode 9 of The Crown.
Until next time, I'll see you when I see you. If you like this video, please click the like button. If you want more content, click subscribe. If you click that little bell and click all, then you'll get more content notifications.